Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Chris, welcome back to Market Edge.
Yes, good morning, and good morning to all your viewers. Nice to be back.
All right, so Chris, from the foreign investor's perspective, what to you were the highlights of the President's State of the Nation address yesterday?
Very first and foremost, the fact that he actually described that he wants the Philippines to be an investment destination. And that's very key to what we've been trying to achieve. I also thought it was very good that he cited the passage of the laws on liberalizing the economy, particularly, obviously, the Public Service Act, the Foreign Investment Act, which the British Chamber was one of the foremost business organizations pushing for those laws. And he also talked about the ease of doing business, because when we look at it, in terms of when we've dealt, obviously, with the companies back in the UK, ease of doing business is a critical factor. The other thing I'd like to cite, and I've been cited for, of course, is also the fact he said no more lockdowns. That's also been said by your other speakers. That will obviously have a major impact on the economy. And of course, we're very pleased to see that he's talked about further investments and on infrastructure. And I just emphasize digitalization, which we see as a key aspect going forward.
Just as important, though, Chris, are the things he didn't say. What did you wish Mr. Marcos mentioned or gave more attention to, if there's any?
Sure. I mean, I think it was overall very comprehensive. What we'd like to have seen, of course, is a reference to RCEP. I mean, we've discussed that previously. We do think that's a very important program. It's the Regional Economic Comprehensive Program. It goes across and is covered as a very large trading area. And I think it would be a complement to his overall economic plans. We know there's been concerns raised before previously on agriculture. However, within RCEP, what's covered is quite a limited range. I think there's only 33 of the tariff areas. So I think we'd like to see the Senate tackling that. And I think that would be a very good complement to those economic plans, which is outlined. And, of course, what we'd like to see is further liberalization over the economy. Of course, he's referred to those laws, and we'd like to see that trend continuing. And, obviously, specific proposals now, obviously, on further ease of doing business.
Chris, one of the reasons cited by the President in previous occasions why he's not too keen on joining RCEP yet is because of agriculture. And clearly, there's a renewed sense of focus given to agriculture. The President himself is holding the portfolio, food security. And this is precisely, I know, where you are focusing as well as the head of British Chamber here in Manila, primarily in meat. In fact, you have more missions focusing on meat.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've just had one. I mean, so first of all, I think you're very right. I mean, it's good to see that the President is actually concurrently got the portfolio of agriculture, and there was a lot of focus, and we fully understand that. Also, he's made references to, obviously, fighting food inflation. In that context, the importation of British pork and beef. For example, British pork is up 46%. We had a British meat mission in May, and we're going to have a further mission in September with what we call the Kent Council and local councils to feature on 23 companies highlighting both food and beverages. So, yes, we're a strong supporter. And we think, obviously, and you can see that in the growth of British imports, that's significantly going to help also, of course, on the inflation side. He
also talked about the power sector, that how he was open to nuclear power generation, but not, the mothballed one, but getting into the smaller modular power plants, energy in general. This is also a space where UK businesses can play a critical role, right?
Oh, correct. I mean, the UK is obviously highly advanced in terms of renewables. It's done a lot of focus in that. And obviously, that was mentioned in one of your previous speakers. He also talked, obviously, about nuclear. The UK has just agreed to do a further nuclear power station in Sizewell. I think Sizewell C. That was just actually announced very shortly. So I think there's a lot the UK can offer. And I think the UK, as we've said before, and British companies are very interested in the support they can give to those infrastructure plans. And of course, it was good to see that you mentioned again, he keeps on wanting to invest in the infrastructure. Obviously, he made specific references to tourism. And I'd just like to make the point also on education. I think it's very good that he's also emphasized the desire to get back to face-to-face and obviously continue to support, because obviously the talent of the Philippines is clearly also with the human capital. I mean, it's very clear. They're highly talented people.
Chris, I want to end with this. Taxes is never a popular thing. It's not a popular initiative to push for, especially for a newly seated president. But he did talk about taxes for digital services. This is not new. I mean, European countries have this. I was going over, taxes for digital services in Europe. Austria has it, 5%. Belgium has 3%. Czech, 5%. France, 3%. So it's not new. Do you think it's time that, the Philippines imposes taxes on digital services?
Well, I think if you look yesterday, the head, I think, of the Philippine Retail Association actually welcomed the plan. And obviously, if it's rolled out clearly and if it can be done. And I think overall, just make another comment, I think, on his tax plans. I think there's been a lot of focus, and I think obviously there's a debrief going on now. And Secretary Jokno, we work with closely, has talked about obviously managing tax and tax efficiency, and there was a reference to that. So I think corporate fiscal responsibility and the need for tax management was emphasized during the SONA, which is also going to be welcomed. And obviously we look forward to seeing those improvements.
All right. Just UK has it at 2%. Turkey at 7.5% and Spain at 3%. Chris, it's a pleasure always speaking with you and getting your thoughts on things that are local and global in nature. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to our conversation next month.
Will do. And have a great day to everybody.